Open wounds with an exposed tendon on the lower leg present a significant challenge to the clinician. Location can impede tendon mobility, which may lead to chronic inflammation and hinder wound closure. Exposure of the tendon to air causes desiccation, subsequent tissue necrosis, and infection. Treatment regime must promote development of granulation tissue and, ultimately, enable reepithelialization as rapidly as possible.
The patient originally presented to us in June 2016. He presented as an emergency admission to the acute vascular service with critical limb ischemia, secondary to peripheral arterial disease.
I got a little black mark on the foot, top of my foot. It was gangrene, and I was going back every day. And every day it was getting bigger and bigger and darker and darker. One of the young doctors said, "John, I am afraid this gangrene is inside your big toe. I'm going to have to take it off, otherwise you're going to finish up losing the lot." That was another downer. But I try to keep as positive as I can, and I think, well, okay, if I've lost a toe, it's better than losing a leg. The wound I'd got in the bottom of my foot was still causing me horrendous pain, and I was having trouble walking about. I was very down and a bit demoralised.
The primary objective when the patient first presented to us was to revascularise that limb. Initial dressing removal was extremely traumatic for the patient. So the primary objective that we needed from a dressing was to make that dressing as atraumatic on removal as possible to ensure that the patient complied with the treatment regime that was prescribed.
The first time that they changed the dressing, all the dressing was stuck to the inside of my foot. As they were peeling it off, I've never felt pain like it. I've been shot, blown up by a landmine in the Falklands. Nothing compared with the pain that was when they tried to take that wadding out of the wound.
We wanted to promote a moist wound healing environment by encouraging granulation tissue to form as rapidly as possible.
Then you come up with that magic dressing. It was spongy and sucked all the liquid out of the wound, which was really good.
We considered this dressing because of the gel layer. We thought that that would hydrate the tendons and promote the granulation tissue. But in addition to this, the exudate levels at the time were moderate, so the additional foam layer we presumed would handle the exudate levels. We found that we had fantastic results within the first initial dressing change, which was 2 days later. The general condition of the tendons was much improved, but ultimately I think the success story in this case of this dressing is the fact that the patient had a positive experience, which has ultimately resulted in the outcome that we've seen today.
Without this dressing, I don't think I'd be here, to be honest with you, because the pain was so horrendous. I couldn't have coped. From needing a buggy or a wheelchair all the time, I can now walk. No, maybe not that far and not that quick, but I can still walk about. And I'm doing stuff now that I used to do years ago, which I wouldn't have been able to do if I'd only got one leg. So it has been a life changer.